wet day. I've taken off my rain jacket. I brought an umbrella. You know, day hiking, you can do that. I'm out on trail, and I am exactly 1 year to the day removed from my through-hike attempt. On this day last year, I was hiking my last day on the Appalachian Trail for my through-hike attempt. Little did I know, I didn't think that that was going to be my last day, but I was, and it's pretty fitting today that it is raining, as you guys can tell, so I hope you guys can hear me just fine. I just think it's so funny that a year ago, like, I was hiking up, what is that mountain called? I think it's Lover's Leap. You hike up out of hot springs, and I was so cold and shivering and wet, and I just remember being miserable, the feeling of like not being able to get warm. And now here I am, a year later, to the day, sitting under a nice shaded area, a nice covered area on a trail in Florida, and it's raining. Like, it's almost like it was meant to be, the cinematic parallels, right? The cinematic parallels that we're looking for. Yeah, so this morning I went in and I watched the entire video of my last day. As you guys know, I went through and I edited all of my videos and my footage into shorts, and I reposted them into shorts for YouTube. Thought that would be a cool way, one, for me to process, and two, transition back into hiking content. So it really was like a cool experience. Bird, I'm trying to film. Quiet, on set. I think I filmed in this exact sunshade and told birds to quiet down when I was announcing that I was through hiking. Like, I'm pretty sure. In this exact moment. This exact location. So maybe it's the same bird and he's just trying me today. Who knows? I just think like a year ago, I was miserable, I was cold, I was like hopeless because I was alone. I had just left my sister-in-law, Spirit Fingers, as you guys know. She was going to be hiking with my brother, and I didn't really know what their plans were. Last I heard, they were going to be hiking southbound, so I wasn't going to see them for several days. So I was like really miserable. Steven had left a couple days earlier, so like pretty much my whole family was like gone. I was by myself, I was cold, it was raining, and I had left the comfort of hot springs. I'd been in the trailer for like 4 days at that point, and I just remember being so miserable. And like a year later, here I am sitting in South Florida under a covered area in the rain to the day. It's just the parallels, you know? It's wild. Oh, how I've grown. And I did have a lot of people recently comment and, oh, were these videos from last year? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't hide that, you know, I put it on there. The very first part of every video says the exact date, and I have 2023 on there, so those videos were from last year. I'm not through hiking this year, obviously, but I have reshifted my focus back onto, you know, wanting to save up for the trail again. I have signed up to do summer school. Ooh, it's really coming down now. I have signed up to do summer school. I am going to try and save up from that. I am going to sign up for every tutoring possibility that there is this upcoming school year, in hopes that all that extra money coming in I can set aside to be able to get back out on trail. Don't know if 2025 is going to necessarily work out, just because I do want to have a few more years to be able to save, because when I think about it, you know, I want to have enough comfort and I want to have enough financial stability to where I'm not worried when I get on trail if I need to get off like in a rainy day like this, or if I needed to get off, you know, like I said, I was going to go to the Happy Nomad Hostel on my last day, and I ended up not doing that, which big regrets. I wish I would have done that, because I feel like had I done that, I would have been around like similar-minded hikers, and they would have convinced me to stay on trail versus me not being around similar-minded hikers and going to Pigeon Forge with people who were trying to get off trail. Anywho, but I think about like if I want to be able to get off on a day where I'm cold and rainy, or just like slack pack for a day and be able to stay in a hostel for an extra night. So yeah, I'm still making miles, but I'm not having to sleep in cold, wet clothes. I want to be able to do that. So I don't know if H5 will be able to work out. Yeah, a year later, I'm still thinking about the trail. I'm still thinking about wanting to through hike. I still regret my decision of getting off. Pretty wild. I don't know, and I kind of wanted to reflect a little bit on that last day and share kind of some insights onto just where my head was at and just for my memories. I don't even think you guys probably care, but like just for the sake of me being able to talk through it. Still, a year later, I'm still thinking about this. But yeah, I just remember like being so cold, calling my aunt. I was miserable because I was alone and I was cold, and like I still had so many miles, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to get there and I'm gonna be freezing and my feet hurt and I'm gonna be wet and I'm gonna have to sleep in my tent all by myself. I don't know who's gonna be there because I had barely seen anyone all day. I only saw like 2 people all day. And so she was like, just hike down, just hike down. And I remember I was gonna try to go back into Hot Springs, but the trailer wasn't answering, and I was like, oh, I'll just stay there and have them drop me back off the next day at Tanger Gap when it was supposed to not be rainy. And they didn't answer, and so then I was like, well, that's it, I'm just gonna go to Asheville, I'm gonna fly home, whatever. And so I called a guy for a shuttle. It was like $100-something bucks, and I was like, am I really gonna pay $100-something bucks to go to Asheville right now? Like, I don't know. So I was like, let me call you back, like whatever. And and then I saw this teeny tiny little sign that said Happy Nomad Hostel. So I called them, and they had one bed available, one private room available for that evening, and it was like $70 or something. And I was like, you know what, a private room is probably what I need. I need to be by myself to think about this stuff. It was like $20 to pick me up, like a shuttle from that area, because they were like further back on the trail. I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I said yep. And then my brother and sister-in-law ended up calling me back, and they were behind me, so we ended up getting off trail and going into Pigeon Forge instead. But boy, do I wish I would have just went to that hostel, because like I said, I really think if I would have been like around like-minded people who were going back out on trail the next day and like were excited to be there. I mean, granted, I don't know who would have been there, but like I'm sure there would have been someone there to like pep me up, you know? I really think I would have been in a much better headspace, and I wouldn't have gotten off trail. But I think just being so far removed from trail and being around people who were like not wanting to be there, and not to speak for them, but like they didn't want to be there, my brother and sister-in-law, I felt uncomfortable, and I ended up making a decision because I felt like I was forced into it, and I didn't want any more confrontation than what had already happened. So yeah, it's wild to think that was a year ago, though. Really wild. I don't know if y'all can see that bird back there, but it is huge. Walking back to the car now, and I
don't even know of anything I said. I just was talking. I don't even know what I said, so this will be fun to go back and edit. But I gotta say, hiking with an umbrella, 10 out of 10, man. 10 out of 10. Now, this is on open, like nothing around me. I can walk path. Can't make any promises about the Appalachian Trail with the amount of trees there are and how annoying it would be to have to dip and dodge around them, but hiking on Florida trails. I love me an umbrella.